Ladies and gentlemen, here we are in beautiful, scenic, tranquil, gorgeous Saratoga Springs, New York, with my very lovely brother-in-law and sister-in-law, the fine people, and there's my gorgeous wife, and we're now standing in front of a very pretty pond.
There's a little boy fishing there, Tony.
Oh, let's see if we walk a little closer. Beautiful day, isn't it? Nice and sunny.
Beautiful day in your neighborhood. Yeah, that house.
Yeah?
This one.
What's that in?
Who owns the pond?
Yeah, that have everything on that side.
That's right.
It was that house.
Yeah, but they might own this side and they might own the other side.
Nice. All right, Anthony, we're out of here.
Are we ready?
We're all set. Looking at our pond.
Okay,
It's
pal.
our pond.
On Golden Pond with Anthony.
You take a picture of this lovely house over here.
We had a lot to do in order to get you to stay in this house here, and we had to pull some strings. You know, it's beautiful, beautiful property they have.
And free use of the pool in the back.
No problem. You know, it's your own private estate. What can I say?
Yeah, we're on roller skates.
We're leaving you.
That's what you think. Like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two pretty ladies swinging the little footsies in front of us here in Saratoga Springs. We just came from a pretty productive day at the racetrack.
Almost.
Well, that's right. It could have been much more productive. Janette did have the winning numbers for today's triple. However, we did not box them, and unfortunately, it was a disaster. You're hearing the local Saratoga fire trucks as they go by. And as my brother-in-law is taking a dump, they are saluting him. They knew he was staying at this hotel, and so I'm giving him a now 21 horn salute.
Look, he's looking where they're going.
Is he out the window, Andy? As we pan across. And they're giving you a 21 salute, buddy.
What's happening, Anthony?
Nice to see you, buddy. Welcome to Saratoga.
Let's eat. Forget about Saratoga.
All right. They knew you were staying here, and they're giving you a little salute, buddy. All right, everything come out all right, kid?
Oh, always.
Good,
Thank
good.
God, that's one thing that still
Good.
stays functional.
I love those
How about
glasses.
you?
All right, pal, beautiful.
We'll get you a pair next
Feel
week.
a few pounds lighter. You look good, kid. This place is terrific that we're going to. It's called the Canterbury.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it. Nice atmosphere. Did you have a good time at the track today, pal?
Very nice.
Good, good.
Got the keys?
Do I have the keys? Sweetheart, the door's open. You have to open it and you locked it.
It's locked.
Oh.
You got your stuff in there. I wouldn't leave it open. You got the key. Shut
You have
down.
the key, sweetheart?
No?
You
Shut
don't have the
down.
key?
No.
Let me see. This must be the key. Come and get it.
You wash your hands in.
Now don't be long. Watch this. What are you, his mother or what? Hurry up, ladies. Now don't dilly-dally there.
Billy, but don't dally.
Go into the bathroom one at a time, please. Be careful now. If you're not down in 5, dancer. Da 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 da. She won't let you in. She's locked out. Wilma! This is the female version of Fred Flintstone. One sister fighting another. To be continued. This is the house that Janie and I are staying at. We wouldn't really recommend it, but it's not too bad. It's a one-night stay. And Andy and Janette are staying with some lovely people that we met I mean, who the hell knows who they are, but she seems like a very nice woman, and it's a broken down bed and bath, but anyway, it's a room and a place to stay. No, it's not as bad as I say it is. As the trunk of our car opened up, we're trying to search for my pal Andy as we pan some of the pretty grounds here at the Washington Inn Hotel. And there he is walking out of the sunlight into the shade. Or we're just preparing to go to dinner at the Canterbury. Just came back from the track and really had a good time. This weather's gorgeous, ain't it?
Hey, Don, how are you? What's happening?
All right, pal.
You're gonna put your toy away.
Okay. Nice. The Saratoga Parade, commemorating the opening of the Saratoga racetrack the first week. See, even the horses are responding. All these pretty quarter horses. Beautiful day, isn't it?
Oh, gorgeous.
These palominos are pretty. Something like a Clydesdale, right?
That's the butt.
We should have a horse and buggy, Sea Spray Farms, Janette.
Yeah, right.
Clydesdale.
Clydesdale.
Like the Budweiser. Look at the little pony. There's Candace. There's the pony.
Are you being 17 again?
Sure, you can walk all the way down.
You can walk, but
Can't drive.
sneaking in between them, but it's not right.
Here we have Andy and Janette. How was the room last night, Janette?
Great. Great.
Good.
I tell you, I slept to forget it. I hit that pillow and I went out. I was dead.
Good.
All we heard was the ducks, Tony. You know those ducks in the pond?
Yeah.
They kept quacking away. But it was good though.
Good. Did she give you anything this morning, or did you
Whatever we
offer?
wanted. Get breakfast, sausage, bacon, and we
had
were gonna eat
coffee.
together. I figured we didn't.
Yeah.
A nice pot of hot coffee made when we got
They
up.
brewed the calf.
That was nice.
Very nice.
Beautiful day here on Sunday, August the 9th, 1987. Here in Saratoga, Saratoga Springs, New York. A lot of beautiful horses in this parade. Let's see, we got one of the horses from Saratoga harness races. Three on a mountain. Look at these little kids. Look at the daddy and the two kids. The little pony.
Isn't that? Aren't you?
See, I was right. Look at Santa Claus coming. See, it's the end of the parade. Ladies and gentlemen, make way for Santa Claus. The Arabs. Look at the little foal, the baby foal.
Oh no, that's supposed to be Mary and Joseph, I bet.
No. He'd be pulling her on an ass.
By her ass.
Here's Santa! Santa!
Santa!
Hey.
Come up here!
Hey!
Yay, Santa!
Right.
Merry Christmas! Cathedral of Notre Dame in Old Montreal. Unfortunately, it is extremely dark in the cathedral, and the lighting is going to be extremely dark, but it gives you a pretty good idea of the beautiful architecture and work in the cathedral. As a matter of fact, Luciano Pavarotti performed Christmas songs and hymns here about 5 or 6 years ago or something like that, and they televise it every year. And one can see different tourist groups and guides. A chapel just behind the main altar in the Cathedral of Notre Dame, and it's called the Sacred Heart Chapel. And as you can hear, there is a tour guide explaining the history behind the chapel, which my wife will fill us in later on. It's almost like a mini version of what you see in the main cathedral. But that main cathedral is so impressive and so beautiful.
Si vous avez des questions, je ne sais pas, je sortirai votre groupe, je vais à l'arrière de la chapelle. Okay, so that completes this visit. Now, Mr. There was no fee for a tour. Any offerings from any will be greatly appreciated since most of these offerings will serve for the maintenance of this church. Also, a small portion will go to help or guide for the studies. You'll see two offering boxes in the back of the chapel. Also, on your way out, as you exit to your right, you will see a small souvenir shop you can buy.
It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's incredible.
It's got to be one of the most beautiful churches in the world.
It really is, Andy.
How'd you like it? Did you go on a tour?
I saw it, for the first time when the special with Pavarotti, when he did the Christmas special. I thought it was beautiful then, but seeing it in person, it's a totally different thing. It's really, really impressive.
They
Beautiful.
said the Christmas special was done in 1978 here.
Wow, I can't believe it was that long ago. I thought maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
And they had a
Yes.
fire by an arsonist right after it, and it destroyed a lot of the church. And they rebuilt $7 million.
Just the chapel. Just the chapel, not the church.
$7 million.
Right.
The
Right.
workmanship is beautiful. Like I said, the figures are beautiful. The whole thing is unbelievable.
That was then $7 million. What would it be today? Yeah, 10 years ago.
Now we're talking 1978, right?
Right. As soon as the fire was, they started work in 1979.
They started in '79.
Okay,
Gets after Pavarotti, the fire was up.
and what basically is the altar made of, Andy? Both altars in the main church of the cathedral and the
Wood.
and also in
They're
the
made of
Solid wood.
soft
Walnut.
pine, they say. Pine,
Pine and walnut.
and they redo it. But all the figures are made of oak,
I see.
white oak.
Uh-huh. Was it imported from France or was it right here in Montreal? Was it?
They made it in Montreal, they said. They made it in Montreal. I don't know about the wood where it was from.
Uh-huh. And Janette, what did the three different levels or three different levels of that particular altar behind the altar represent? Those three different.
That was the biggest brass sculpture in the world.
Uh-huh.
18 feet wide by 50 feet high.
3 arches.
Arches, yes.
The first one was birth, the second one was life, and the third one was death.
Uh-huh. Now that was not copied. That is a new creation.
New.
Done by a Montreal artist.
Right.
How much does it weigh? It weighs
16 tons.
Wow. And what is that made of? Is that all gold? Solid gold? No.
Brass.
Brass. Oh,
Solid
brass.
gold. Oh my God.
Imagine that. I think I'm in Europe, in Florence.
That's
Notre Dame.
A side view of the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Old Montreal, modeled after its predecessor, Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, France, of course. But this, I believe, is far more beautiful, although the other one is, of course, impressive because of how old it is and all the history attached to it. But this is magnificent. The artwork, the architecture, texture.
Yeah, let's go, guys. We'll be hydrated.
You are, huh? The sun is coming out. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Beautiful day in your neighborhood. Should be mine.
In fact, we should walk down this street. I'm not sure if this thing cuts all the way through.
Okay.
You want to go up there and get a couple t-shirts?
Well, we'll look around first. Then we'll get them on the way back.
All right.
Where you guys going now? Where you going? Canadian Shamrock. Oh, Canada. These are some of the streets in Old Montreal, which is reminiscent of some of the streets in Paris. Shops and little restaurants and cafes and espresso and cappuccino shops. And now we're going to visit some of the places in Old Montreal and the pier where they have a couple of exhibits going on.
Yeah, you're going to be on.
Yeah. Sections in Old Montreal and trying to find out exactly what this building is here. It could possibly be City Hall, we're not certain. But it's rather pretty in all its architecture splendor.
We'll look around, honey. Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah.
The sun is trying to break through and stay out. See all the different sidewalk vendors and different paraphernalia that they're selling and artwork and jewelry. And as a matter of fact, it wouldn't be my wife if she didn't visit one of the famous jewelry stores. And I must confess, I enjoy looking at beautiful jewelry myself. Or jewelry, I don't know how beautiful it is in this particular store. But they went in here, and I think they went in here. Maybe we can get them coming out. Excuse me, they came out a different exit. Hi, sweetheart. Did you find anything interesting? You surprised me. I'm waiting for you to come out this exit, and you came out the other way. Let me see that state trooper. All right. Ourselves in Old Montreal. We see my beautiful wife, Janie, my very lovely and pretty sister-in-law, Janette, and my handsome brother-in-law, who is now in a state trooper 6-month course, Mr. Andrew. Nice to see you, buddy. From one camera to the next. We're going to go for a little cool drink to cool off and enjoy the day and take a little buggy ride and see Old Montreal in that way. The sun's trying to stay out. You know, Janette, it's having a difficult time. It's just trying to fight through. And right behind here we see one of the many restaurants and bistros in the area. It's our pretty buggy that will now take us on a tour through old Montreal, seeing a lot of the historic sites and landmarks and different features and points of interest in the city. And our guide will point out the various sites and the history behind the different things to see. And it's very pretty, as you can see, a good looking horse. So we're getting ready to take off. So now join us on our trip as we visit historic old Montreal.
Exterior market that was built in Montreal. Farmers used to bring livestock and farm product here so it would be sold to the grand public. It's no longer a market. It's considered to be the heart of the old Montreal. Now, weeknights, weekends, throughout the summer season, it's close to the traffic so the pedestrians can enjoy it as much as possible. You will find here throughout the evening, most of the time, some different types of street entertainers, fire eaters, clowns, jugglers, musicians, dancers, martin, pantomime, and acrobat. You think of something, you're going to find it in the Jacques Street store.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
Hi, babe.
considered for many years to be the richest hotel throughout North America. Famous author Charles Dickens used to live in it for about 9 months. It belongs to the government of Canada, which has made off pride. He got fed up about the government and burned down the Parliament of the United States. Which at that time was situated in Place Royale. So the government used the Bonsicle market for about 4 days. And after that, they moved to Quebec and to Ottawa. When they used it as a parliament, they would use the second floor as a parliament, and the first floor would still be a market.
What is the oldest building? What year is the oldest building here?
Well, that would be the Sailors Church. We'll see it in a few seconds on my left.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
The oldest
red?
church here in Montreal, the oldest building.
no, that's proper.
1647?
1657.
The oldest church or the oldest building?
The
Church.
oldest building and oldest church.
Okay.
Now, in the daytime, you could go to those balconies up there and have a beautiful view of the harbor and also the St. Lawrence River. The 2 pavilions that are open to the public. The
Excellent.
Old Quebec Pavilion, in which you'll find the world's biggest stuffed animal exhibit. There's 1,500 different animals. And most of them are jungle animals. They're most all recreated.
The Molson Brewery, which is, of course, 200 years old. And the bridge was designed by Eiffel, we're supposed to get to the Eiffel Tower.
What it was swamp forest, Indian land. So when hunters would come back from the long trip, the guys would get the door open and the hunters would walk closer to Victoria Piers where they would find a counter, exchange their fur for food, clothing, munition, arms, mirrors, jewelry, whatever they need.
All right, get up. Get up.
This way they can want
City Hall right up in front of us?
Yeah.
Ah, I remembered.
Okay, sweetheart, you were right.
And all the light bulbs on it are always white, except in special occasions. Like when we had a visit from the Pope, they changed all the light bulbs for a purple one. There is 150 light bulbs that covers the surface of the cross. And every week there is 2 municipal employees that goes on the mountain, and they change 15 light bulbs on that cross. Some of them are burned down because of old age, sometimes because of high power voltage.
How you doing, baby? It really is. Oh, of course.
I mean, I've been here, but I didn't go on the tour.
It's like for the first time again.
Now, on my left side, you will see the Chateau Ramsay, and it was built way back in 1704 for the 11th governor of Montreal, Mr. Gilbert Frey. It's been transformed today into a museum in which you'll find a lot of ancient Indian artifacts and money collection. Now, when Canada was at war with the Americans, many American generals had their headquarters here. Generals like Benjamin Franklin, Benedict Arnold, Lord Montgomery, Lord Metcalfe, they all had their headquarters in the Chateau Ramsay.
Wow.
On my right, you will see Place Beauplain, named after the French naval defensor of Quebec, Mr. Jean Beauplain.
Good.
And on my left side, you will see the high bar of the Jacques Cartier with the Nelson Tower in front of it. And If you would go to London in Trafalgar Square, you'll see that they got a giant one. They've only got a replica. This one here is the original. The original.
Original?
Obelisk?
This one here. Nelson Tower.
Oh, somebody's music.
I've been transformed into a restaurant. Now, see the windows? They all got little squares instead of a used glass window. Well, in those days, they had to bring the glass from France and they would import it in barrels. Only rich people could afford to have glass windows because you would have to pay a special tax on each little square of glass.
Built in Montreal.
Sculptures, whatever is related with the arts. Notice the two giant front doors. They're made out of brass and each door weighs a ton. But 3 or 4 year olds can easily open them and close them at will because they're really well balanced. It's known as the Amnescarni Center in honor of the French architect. When it gets cold, it closes together.
I see.
Usually to make a perfect cube.
Oh, wow.
Now the author says before him, this really represents the junction because when it's open,
The temperature rock. McDonald's, right?
Oh yeah. Well, they weren't supposed to have any fast food chain in the
Is that right?
But like they say, money talks, eh?
That's for sure.
This is St. Lawrence Street, it's the main street. It divides the city in 2 parts, from east to west, with the new courthouse on my right, number 1. Further down in front, we find the Chinese quarter, and also St. Catherine Street, on which you'll find 7 miles long, all kind of department store, restaurant, fashion boutique, movie theater, nightclub, cabaret, discotheque. It's the biggest shopping place in Montreal.
Where is it?
St.
Oh.
Catherine Street. Oh, ladies. I know.
And we're going down.
There we go. Where was St. Catherine?
Then on my right, we've got the La Presse building, and it's 104 years old. That is the original facing of it. The oldest French newspaper throughout North America. The oldest published newspaper in Montreal is the Gazette, and it was founded way back in 1778 by Benjamin Franklin.
Okay, babe. Good. And the Empire State Building.
What was it built? What years do you remember?
Oh, I can't remember. But I know that it was the first time that they would use some stress cement in a building throughout North America. The type of architecture is what they call by elevation because you can see different heights on here.
And what is the name of that building that resembles the Empire State Building?
That's the Royal Bank of Canada that's got offices
Uh-huh.
inside, and also the another insurance company, the Soviet. And it was transformed
With
to the
Burt
Modern
Lancaster.
American Museum for the purpose of
She was in a film called Bonner and Bailey with Burt Lancaster.
Paris, but closer to a replica of the Abbey of Westminster in London.
Oh, inside of it is more like the Abbey?
Yes.
Westminster?
And it was considered for many years to be the richest church throughout North America because of all the gold that's involved
Oh,
inside as far as the
gorgeous.
decoration is concerned. It also had the most powerful organ throughout North America with an organ of 5,772 pounds. Just digging in and out, fixing all the damage that the time has done to it. And right now they're working inside to do all the transformation. You've got Greek Corinthian architecture. The building used to be a bank, and each statue on the top
These will be
represents
converted
one of the
into
ways
luxurious
that the
hotels in
The
Montreal.
first one's got a frame for the railroad.
Molson Bank, the same people who own the brewery.
Yeah, not anymore.
Bought out by the Bank of Montreal.
Oh, it was bought out by the Bank of Montreal.
The 4 columns on the bottom and the ones on the top, they're made out of red granite and they were imported from Finland. But in the early days,
Fire station of Montreal. And when was this fire station built?
way back in 1903.
Okay, thank you.
Then on my right, you'll see what they used to call the Youville stable, but it was never a horse inn. It was later on transformed into a prison. Today, it's condos, in which you'll find a Gibby's restaurant we're well known for its steak, rich steak.
Oh, Gibby's.
Let's
And
go
you will-
going to see them.
And you'll be able to see part of the beautiful courtyard. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going this way.
Gibby's famous.
Coming back to the movie Bonner and Bailey there with Burt Lancaster.
Yes.
They used the Bijou, the greenhouse restaurant, the Gibby's, and its backyard for many, many sequences of the movie.
I see.
Which restaurant? Which
Green.
Gibby's,
The Gibby's,
Bonham,
Greenhouse.
Burt Lancaster, Bonham.
the Bijou, and the greenhouse. We also had a little bit of Winds of War with Robert Mitchum, Henry Ford, Men in the Machine.
Yes.
They just completed one that's called Martin for CBS television station with Keith Carradine, Geneviève Bujold, and Geraldine Chaplin.
Mm-hmm.
Summer French domination. They held the first courthouse there in the early days. They did all the action there in front of the Boston market. The admission
Expo
fee
Tech
is
and different exhibits, basically by the Japanese. Styles of the rich and famous, with Janie Rognetta and Janette Graf and Anne de Graf in front of the world famous Bijou restaurant. The only restaurant in the world that gives you $100 change to gamble. if you spend $20 for food and drink, but money means absolutely one of these sidewalk cafes in Old Montreal. And as we look towards the pier where there is Expo, Tech, we are waiting for tables to be cleared and reset. How much longer, darling? I think this place gives you a silver dollar. You can come back later and use the toilet. Relax, baby. Talk about me relax. You're gonna explode in a minute, darling. Get that mug. Subway station in Montreal, New Montreal now. We're going to compare the subways of New York with the subways of Montreal. Approaching as we come into the stop on Peel. Watch your step. Welcome to Disney World. Have a good time.
Bye, Tony.
You're holding on to a subway
Maybe I get off
at the Pie 9.
Why not?
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Excuse me.
I woke her up. I think woke up. 42nd Street, Times Square. Everybody out. Comparison to the subways, I would say that these are clearer than the subways in New York. The cars are a little bit smaller, but it's still, like anything else, hard to get a seat. We're on our way to the Olympic Park Stadium. They had the Olympics here in Montreal, where the Expos used to play ball. Olympic Park Stadium in Montreal, and we can see that this particular apparatus which was constructed helps, of course, with the dome structure and the Olympics. Hey, buddy! My beautiful wife, my very pretty sister-in-law, my good buddy, brother-in-law, Andy. Well, now we're gonna check it out and see what it has to offer. And incidentally, the Montreal Expos used to play here as well. So we're gonna see all a little bit later. So stay. This spaceship that has just landed from Mars, Montreal has been invaded. But it's a pretty structure, pretty sight to see. Montreal Olympic Park Stadium.
One meter on the model represents 200 meters outside. The model represents a total surface area of 115 acres which is the equivalent size of 2,136 tennis courts put all together, or 64 football fields. So right now we're here inside the tourist center. We'll visit the stadium, which is the main building, the home of the Montreal Expos. Then after we'll visit the velodrome. Velo is the French word for bicycle. This is where we have the cycling events. And we'll finish the tour under the tower in the swimming center. So right now we cannot see the roof on top of the model, but the stadium has a roof. It is a retractable roof. And by next spring we'll be able to activate the mechanism and the roof will be pulled up, fold onto itself, and stored 400 feet in the air or 129 meters up in the air in the rectangular opening that we call la niche. The operation will take 45 minutes. It will be computer operated and it will cost $5,000 in electricity every time we'll pull the roof up and $5,000 more every time we'll pull the roof down. So our expos better start winning to attract enough people to pay for the operations. By the end of this month, we'll also have an elevator that will ride the outside of the tower front and the back. So we'll be able to bring 1,000 people an hour to the top 3 observation decks.
That's what we saw before, then. Right. Did we see a little car moving before? We noticed something like that.
That's
yes.
The elevator. We call it le funiculaire.
The
tower is 556 feet high, or 169.5 meters high. It is the equivalent height of the Washington Monument in the States, or it's half the size of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. I'll talk more about the tower and the roof as we have the structures in front of us. 2 buildings were used during the Olympic Games. Today they have a different function. We have the Centre Pierre Charbonneau, which was used for the boxing events, and the Maurice Richard Arena, which was used for the wrestling events. Today the Centre Pierre Charbonneau is the training area for gymnastic teams, and the arena is the site of minor hockey league competitions. 2 metro stations can accommodate up to 45,000 people to the site of the Olympic Park. We have Métro P9 over there and Métro Viau right here. We can park 4,000 cars under the stadium or 2,000 cars and 200 Voyageur buses. We have 5 levels of underground parking lots. On my right, we have one of the 2 pyramids of the Olympic Village. This is where we house the athletes during the games. Today, the Olympic Village has been converted into luxury apartments. The rent varies. It starts at $450 per month for an apartment of 1 room plus a bathroom, and it goes up to $1,500 per month. There's a waiting list of 2 years, so those of you who are thinking of moving there should apply as soon as possible. The white area displayed on the model is not part of the Olympic Park. This is the Botanical Garden of Montreal, and the Botanical Garden is the 3rd largest botanical garden in the world after the one of London in England and the one of Berlin in Germany. The Botanical Garden is, for the 2nd year, the site of a bonsai tree exposition. This exposition was a gift from the government of China to the city of Montreal as a gesture of friendship. We have a shuttle train that leaves the tourist center and goes to the Botanical Garden. The large handle of the clock is 2 meters long or 7 feet long. If we look at one section of seats in front of us, the blue seats, each section is approximately made of 280 seats. If we would count all the seats one by one, it would take us 1 week and we would arrive at the number of 58,338, which is the present seating capacity. During the Olympic Games, we could accommodate up to 70,000 spectators, but we removed an entire section of seats to allow the construction of our tower. During a rock concert, we can even have up to 84,000 spectators, each paying an average of $30 for tickets. That makes a very happy musicians at the end of the concert. The stadium can be rented for $150,000 per day, and if ever any of you is interested, I can give you the phone number of the administration at the end of the tour. The roof occupies a surface area of 210,000 square feet, or 20,000 square meters, and we can see the 26 cones where the 26 steel cables are attached. Now the roof weighs 185 tons. The roof is made of Kevlar 49, which is a special nylon fiber, and it is 2.5 millimeters thick, or roughly thicker than 1/8 of an inch. Now Kevlar, when it is stretched, is as hard as steel. Kevlar is the same material we use to construct bulletproof vests and radial tires. The cost of the roof, $10 million. The cost of the stadium, $825 million. Canadian dollars, of course. All around, we see luxury lodges. There are 31 of them. They can be rented to private corporations for public relation purposes. And the rent is $35,000 a year or $650 per day. Inside you have from 13 to 23 good seats. You have catering service, a bar, a living room, to see whatever is happening on the field. The stadium is 300 meters long. Sorry, my thing is beginning to lose its fuel, so I'll have to shout. The stadium is 300 meters long and 260 meters wide. Distance from ground level to the uppermost point of the roof, that's 220 feet or 64.5 meters. How do we transform the baseball field into a football field? Well, the operation is rather simple. First, we remove the blue fence. Then this section is made of steel. It's mobile. It's mounted on rails. We press a button and the section beginning from the green and white wall extending to the other wall behind the dugouts. The entire section rose to where we see Fleur Mason. The section in front of us does the same thing. It moves in front of this one. Then we press a second button and the pitcher's mount, which is mounted on an hydraulic shaft, goes to ground level. We cover all the bases with AstroTurf, artificial grass. Then we erase the baseball lines because they're made of water-soluble paint. We trace the football lines, we install the 2 goals, and voila, we've converted the field in 12 hours. Who pays for all this? Well, this is a provincially owned building. We have a tax on alcohol and tobacco. So symbolically, some people may claim a seat because of their habits. Others could claim an entire section, depending on their extent or their bad habits. Each scoreboard weighs 55 tons, and they're made up of 19,240 watt light bulbs, the same light bulbs you have at home. And they can provide up to 9 shades of gray, and they can reproduce video images. The control room for the scoreboard was in 1973, and it was almost ready during the Olympic game, except for the tower. Because we had problems of structure, and we had money problems. Originally, the whole Olympic adventure was supposed to cost $350 million. It ended up costing $2,400 million. A slight error of forecasting by the management team.
How much are they stealing?
And the velodrome may look large, but here we have the reverse illusion that we have inside the stadium. The building looks much larger than it really is. In fact, we could fit 3 velodromes inside the stadium with no problem. So we can host 5,227 spectators here. And this is a standard size cycling track according to the Olympic regulation. It has a perimeter of 283 meters from the middle line. And it has a maximum angle of 48 degrees, a minimum angle of 13 degrees. Now, in order for a cyclist to be able to ride on this track, he or she has to go at a minimum speed of 35 kilometers an hour or 21 miles an hour. Otherwise, you just fall down on the curbs. So twice a week, we rent bicycles to the public. For $5, we provide the helmet, the bicycle,
We'll come
and
tomorrow.
a trainer who tells you how to use the track. And of course, we have a good medical staff in the basement.
You ready in?
The track is hand brushed 4 times a year with soap and water, and it takes 2 weeks for 10 people to scrub the whole thing. The wood is a special wood imported from Cameroon, Africa. It's called Doucier Asphalia.
Ducey?
It's very resistant and it doesn't make splinters. The velodrome is also used as an exhibition hall, as you may recall from the slideshow. This is where we had the circus events, the wine show, the family show, and all those colorful commercial fairs that you saw. The center of the velodrome can be transformed into a skating rink in 36 hours. We have a system of pipes under the floor. Press a button. Glycol gas is pumped in the pipes. It freezes the surface of the concrete. Then we lower the temperature with these air guns all around. And we pour water on top of the frozen concrete, we polish the ice, and voila, we can have figure skating championships.
This is the symbol of the Montreal Olympic Games, the 5 circles symbolizing the 5 continents, and above you have the M, which is the first letter of the word Montreal.
It's also the first letter of McDonald's, but that wasn't planned. Are there any questions on the belt?
This is the Olympic
Now we have
pool,
a total.
which was used in the 1976 Olympics.
We have a total water capacity here of 2,100,000 gallons, or 8 million liters of water distributed in 5 pools. The wading pool, the competition pool, the diving pool, the scuba diving tank. We're on top of the 5th pool, which is the training pool. The competition pool is 50 meters long, 25 meters wide, and it has a depth of 2 meters, or 7 feet. One section of the floor of this pool can be raised from 2 meters of depth to 1 meter. We have a system of pipes under the section of the floor behind the ring stripe. And we pump air in these pipes. The floor becomes light, and just like a submarine, it rises from 2 meters to 1 meter. We stabilize the floor, and we can have a public swimming. We need a competition. If we want to have a competition, and we need the required 2 meters of depth, we do the reverse operation. We pump water in the pipes, chase the air out, destabilize the floor, and the floor sinks down by its own weight. People swimming in these pools can enjoy underwater music. We have underwater speakers. This equipment was basically for the synchronized swimming events. After these events, we thought to let the public enjoy the equipment. This pool is 5 meters deep, 18.5 feet deep. The bottom has been painted in dark blue to give an impression of depth. Now, if the bottom was painted white, the person standing on top of the 10-meter board have the impression that there's only 1 foot of water inside the pool, which is not very encouraging for me to jump. We have 5 1-meter boards. We have an hydraulic board that can be raised from 1 meter to 3 meters. We have the tower with 3 3-meter boards, 5-meter board, 7.5-meter board, and 10-meter diving board. 10 meter, 30 feet, the equivalent height of a 3-story high building. If you jump from the 10 meter and you make a belly flop, you hit the surface of the water at 30 miles per hour, or 50 kilometers per hour, and the skin may just rip. For this reason, we do not let the public use boards higher than 3 meters unless they would like to rescue. An elevator allows the diver to have access to the upper floor. There's only one problem with this elevator. Once you leave the elevator, it automatically goes down. You better be sure of yourself when you go up there that the only way down is to jump or to wait for the next guy to go up. We have a weight training room behind the tower, and we can put people playing badminton. You can also play basketball in the little side of this ball. Questions on these pools? Okay, scuba diving tank.
54 feet. 54 feet.
Well, for skin diving,
Is
what's
this
it
where
for
you learn
anything?
to skin dive?
Yeah, skin diving. You can see it.
54 feet deep.
Okay. Looking at are the diving, different diving levels. This is the diving pool. And behind us we just saw this, the deep sea or skin diving pool, which is 54 deep or thereabouts. It's for only certified divers. Beautiful complex here between the ball field, the bicycle stadium, and of course the swimming stadium. We are in lovely Lake George, New York, about
We
maybe
went from Saratoga to Montreal, now to Lake George.
very nice.
With our tour guide, Mr. Anthony Rignetta.
Hey, thank you, folks. Thank you, kind people.
We traveled
Whose
around.
idea was everything?
Mr. Anthony
Anthony
Rignetta.
Rignetta.
This is Anthony Rignetta. Hey.
And as we go around from right to left, Janette Graf, could you please tell us how you've been enjoying your vacation so far?
Great. Great time.
Very nice. What have you enjoyed most? during the vacation? But who slept?
Look at this boat coming in.
Everything.
Oh, that's
Restaurants,
nice.
It's a
Montreal
pirate
was
ship.
fantastic.
Right?
Quaint. All Montreal is very quaint, very lovely.
It's been a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
Really has.
The horse race was great at Saratoga.
Yeah.
We almost became millionaires.
Right?
Not quite, though.
And Andy, my buddy, my pal.
Oh, look at
I enjoyed the company.
skydiving.
Oh, thank you, pal. The feelings are the same. Mutual, buddy, mutual.
Get our waitress on this.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Here comes our waitress, bringing all this delicious food.
If it wasn't for her. You're not allowed to be filmed.
You want to film the food, Tony?
Yes, all this delicious food. The French fries smell so good. And darling, my beautiful wife, what have you enjoyed about this vacation?
One thing seeing Laurie.
Okay, a little louder, baby.
One thing is seeing Laurie.
Uh-huh.
You have your home in Montreal.
Uh-huh.
Track I enjoyed. I enjoyed restaurants. And I enjoyed the show last night.
You enjoyed this.
Male dancing.
What about the male dancers? What did you enjoy about them?
Their little outfits.
Can you describe them, darling?
He thought and Jane.
Little strings.
Yeah, and how was it looking, and how did it look?
It looks like let's see.
She got out of that one.
Right.
But here we are in beautiful Lake George. The water is a beautiful blue today. The weather is a little bit cool, but nice. And as we pan this beautiful scenery, out there before we saw some jet skiers, and the type of jet skiers where you're able to sit in the jet ski. And it's a little stop we're making en route to good old Brooklyn, USA, New York. And it certainly has been a great vacation. Starting in Saratoga, all the way to Montreal, with this brief stop visit in Lake George. And then, of course, back to Brooklyn. But we're going to take a little break now because I'm starving. And we'll be right back. What is everybody eating? Sounds good. Bon appetit.
Turkey. Turkey pork.